Question number 7. The two views described in lines 22 through 25 can be characterized as what? Looking back at the text, for them it was a lonely place, possessing in the one view only the quality of a work ground and in the other that of a granary good to feed in. You probably know most of these words, but let's just quickly define them. Demeaning, this is something that can cause one to lose his dignity or the respect of others. Pragmatic, this refers to being sensible and realistic or practical. Suspicious, of course, this is distrustful. Moralistic, this is having a strong concern with morality or what's right and wrong. And optimistic, of course, is hopeful about the future. Of these responses, B, pragmatic, is the best response because both the rooks and Jude view the place in terms of practicality. For the birds, it's a place to eat, and for Jude, it's a place to work. So B, pragmatic, is the best response. Question number 8. In the second paragraph, the response of the rooks to the clacker is best described as what? Let's read through the lines. At each clack the rooks left off pecking and rose and went away on their leisurely wings, burnished like tassets of mail, afterwards wheeling back and regarding him warily and descending to feed at a more respectful distance. So the clacker runs the rooks off a short distance and then they land again a little further away. So A, impish and playful. There's nothing to indicate that these birds are being playful or impish. They regard Jude warily, so they're cautious rather than playful. You can eliminate A. B, aggressive and threatening. No, they're flying away, so they're not aggressive. C, discouraged but only temporarily deterred. This makes sense because they leave, but then they land a little further off, so this answer fits. D, friendly but with a suggestion of menace. There's nothing to make the birds seem friendly here, and they regard Jude warily, so they aren't menacing him. E, watchful but not at all responsive. They are responsive to the clacker because they fly away. So the only answer that works and the best answer is C, discouraged but only temporarily deterred. Question number 9. The phrase burnished like tassets of mail in line 30 emphasizes which quality of the bird's wings? And you could see from the footnote that mail means overlapping metal plates in a suit of armor, and burnished means highly polished, so something that is burnished would shine. So of our answer choices, we have A, their ominous impression. There isn't anything necessarily ominous about highly polished armor, so no. B, their aggressiveness. No, nothing about burnished mail indicates aggressiveness, and we've already seen that the birds aren't aggressive. They fly away and they're wary. So we can say their wings aren't aggressive either. B doesn't work. C, their pulsating movement. We have burnished mail, highly polished. It's shiny certainly, but there isn't anything about that indicates movement, so C doesn't work. D, their clamorous sound. Burnished, highly polished indicates a visual. It tells us how they look, but we're not getting anything about how they sound, so cross out D. E, their lustrous appearance. This is the best answer because something that is burnished or highly polished can be described as lustrous, which means shining, so E is the correct response. Question number 10. Which of the following best describes how Jude regards his own situation? If we look at the text, we can see that Jude's thoughts about his situation start about line 35. They seemed, like himself, to be living in a world which did not want them. Why should he frighten them away? They took upon more and more the aspect of gentle friends and pensioners, the only friends he could claim as being in the least degree interested in him, for his aunt had often told him that she was not. This is pretty straightforward. Jude sees himself as living in a world that doesn't want him, and he sees the birds as the only friends that he can claim as being in the least interested in him. So of the choices we have, B, he is friendless and alienated from the world, is certainly the best response. The only other response that you might view as possible is A, he is fearful about what his future holds. You might think this is implied, but it's only implied because he's friendless and alienated from the world, so you certainly couldn't choose A as long as you have B as a choice. So the best answer is B, he's friendless and alienated from the world. Question number 11. The tone of the last paragraph is best described as what? A, indignant. Jude doesn't seem to be annoyed or angry about the unfairness of his situation. The only emotion we get is that he's sympathetic, so no, there's no hint of indignation. B, cynical. No, neither Jude nor the narrator is cynical here. Jude feels genuine sympathy for the birds and acts on it. He isn't motivated by self-interest, and the narrator doesn't imply that he is. C, somber. This paragraph is serious and a little gloomy, so C is a good answer. D, reassuring. No, it's not reassuring to not belong in the world and have no friends other than birds who run away from you. Even his aunt isn't interested in him, so D doesn't work. E, condescending. No, we don't get an indication that either Jude or the narrator feels superior to or looks down on anyone or anything. So of the available answers, the best one is C, somber. Question number 12. Which of the following happens at the end of the passage? A, Jude's attachment to the soil is affirmed. There's nothing to indicate this, so no, cross out A. B, Jude starts to question his need for friends. No, he's beginning to view the rooks more like friends than as pests that need to be run off, so he isn't questioning his need for friends. This is more like affirming his need for friends than questioning it, so eliminate B. C, the rooks take on a suggestion of sinister foreboding. No, Jude actually begins to view them as friends, and he develops sympathy for them, which doesn't indicate foreboding. Eliminate C. D, Jude's attitude toward his work begins to change. This makes sense. Before, Jude viewed running the rooks off by using his clacker as part of his work, but he is developing sympathy toward the birds, and he ceases to try to make them leave. So his attitude towards his job changes here. He stopped doing part of it because he sees it as a negative rather than a positive. So D is a good answer. E, the rooks become discouraged and seek food elsewhere. No, that doesn't happen, so get rid of E. And the best answer is D, Jude's attitude towards his work begins to change.